and we're going to do FF7 because this game's great and I really enjoy it. So here we are. A little more. Ooh, I just missed. Might have missed something. We got to talk to this guy. We want all useful materia. The all materia, all your spells hit for something like 2/3 damage, but they hit all enemies on the field. So if we switch restore with all, we now have, I mean, anyone who's played this knows this, but we have now lightning linked with the all materia, and that means, I believe for the number of stars that the all level has, so 1 star right now, once per fight, the first time I use lightning, or I can have it single hit and save it for later, but it will hit all enemies on screen for some percentage of damage. And this is really useful, right? Because the percentage is something, I think is 2/3, it might be 3/4, but I think it's 2/3. So if there's 3 enemies on screen and I have all attached to lightning, I'm getting 2/3 damage times 3. I'm essentially getting double damage for a turn for the same MP. It's incredibly valuable. But now that we have that equipped, we might want to put restore on someone else. I'm going to put it on a little higher magic stat than Tifa does. Tifa's and our third character will be kind of multi-purpose useful character, and our third character will likely sort of fill a support role, because I'm not as sure what I want to pick there. That said, around the different towns we see, but I will take a quick look up here. So up there with a stairway, and we'll quest because we are off on our second mission, this time with Tifa along. To you can see our team running into the train to destroy a reactor. I wanted to talk a little bit about lines. The line. There ain't no getting we're on. This concept, the trains around the slums, you know, this is a world. But, and God, don't I just have all the luck? I should be reading the lines. Should stop saying opinion. FF7. You say something? I said something. Yo, look at that. Got empty all of a sudden. Just a little. Damn. It's empty because guys like you. You news right. Blanche says there will be more bombs. Only employee would go on a day like this. Gotta be devoted to that corporate. Working for Shinra. Fantastic, by the way. I won't give in. And something. Tifa says Barrett. Then we get. So, what are we gonna do now? Shit. Calm about. You're busting up my rhythm. Games of this era really do lean into kind of very stereotypical that is not great, but I'm just gonna pretend is not happening because Barrett has some really good lines despite that, and I would like to celebrate them. Alright. Seems like they just finished connecting the cars. We're finally leaving. So what's our next target? Listen to Mr. Serious about his work. Alright, yeah. Jesse's probably already told you, but there's a security checkpoint at the top plate. It's an ID scan system checking all the trains, which Shinra is very proud of. It's very important to have your society properly segregated if you're, you know, a super conglomeration controlling everything. We can't use our fake IDs anymore. Good morning and welcome to Midgar Lines. Arrival time at Sector 4 Station will 11:45. Okay, slight typo there. Let's say will be 11:45. That means we've only got 3 more minutes to the ID checkpoint. Alright, in 3 minutes we're jumping off this train. Got it? So I'm just gonna sit down and take a quick rest first. No time rush with 3 minutes to go. Cloud, come over here. Let's look at the railway map monitor. Alright, we can finally move. Let's see what Barrett has to say. Yo, Mr. Know-It-All, big-time soldier. You ought to know the area around the number 5 reactor. So let's hear your explanation. Apparently don't have one. Cloud doesn't know. Wow. Don't worry about me. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I'm gonna brag to everyone at work about this. He's so brave. Tifa. Looks like you've seen this already. Yeah, Jesse already showed this to us. It's alright. Come a little closer. Ah, red light. Something's gone wrong. That's odd. It was supposed to be further. Type A security alert. Unidentified passengers confirmed. A search will be conducted. Repeat. Type A. Passengers confirmed. A search of all cars will be conducted. What's happening? What's going on? We're in trouble, Jesse. Later. Hurry, get to the next car. Shit, someone blew it. Unidentified passenger in car number 1, preparing for lockdown. Run between the cars and not very impressive action sequence here. Keep it up. 15 seconds. Car number 1, lockdown. Level 2 warning. So I'm going to hold the sprint key because exit. Jesse changing to plan. We have 15 seconds to make it out. We can do it. Man, I'm so really impressive. Car number 2, lockdown, upgrading to warning level 3. You can see some people very unhappy here, including one whose name we will later learn is John. Maybe could have learned that already, but that's okay. Alright, we clear. Actually, I probably won't do enough of talking to people to learn that, but shh. Not yet. They're starting in. If we're caught, we're done for. But don't worry. Move up the train car by car. We should get past it. Push people out of the way. Poor old man. Unidentified passengers moving to front of train. Tracking location. That guy. And oh, we made it out in time. Some. If they rob our stuff, they might have. Car down. Upgrading to warning level 4. We'll make it through. Car number 4 locked down, upgrading to maximum security. Very tense. Alright, we made it. Shinra not doing very much. This way. Plot twist. I'll wait for it. Let's go. Right here. I was stuck in the back, couldn't see myself. Gotta say for yourself. Scary, huh? Too late to be saying that now. Why'd you come along? Always the height of politeness. Because... Hey, you two, there ain't no... Ooh, cut off before explaining something. Suspicious. Suspicious things. Alright. Let's talk. Let's see, it's me. Look, do I look good in a Shinra uniform? You look great, man. So happy. Yeah, I've made up my mind. Watch closely, I'm gonna jump. Alright. Cloud does his hair. Thinks he looks. If I go first, leader always stays. Don't worry about me, just go. Cloud, don't worry, Cloud was not at risk of worrying about him. You're getting your spiky ass hurt. It's only the beginning of... Cloud jumps. And now Bear. You take care of the rest. And we're off for mission number 2. Take out actor, hopefully. Good, so far everything's going as planned. Better go down until we get to the 5 reactor. I think I screwed settings. Give me a moment. Maybe I can fix a sound thing. Not sure. Alright, let's continue. Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse got everything ready for us, so move it. Well, the reactor's just down this tunnel. Let's go the way they told us. Sometimes it's worth going the other way first, but I don't think there's anything there at the moment. And we got enemies. Our first time with a 3-person party. Let's see how they look. So I believe Silk can slow us. But it doesn't really look like it does much damage. Meaning no damage. And we're going to use our new power of Bolt. Magic is not affected by your formation, whether you're in the front or the back. So, when physically attacking, you generally want to attack things in the front row. But when you use magic, it doesn't matter. And you can see Bolt now sweeps their whole team instantly, while individually, without the all spell, it would take 4 uses of Bolt. We're rewarded with a level up. Sometimes it's, of course, worth saving MP for bosses, but I think we will be comfortable either way. Those light beams are the Shinra security sensors. Can't go any further. Luckily, there's a hatch right here. It's one damn tiny hole. You telling me to squeeze into that to get under the plate? No way. Yo, Cloud, what are we gonna do? We're just gonna go down. Damn, man, that thing gives me the chills. Maybe we should have worked out this plan a little better. I see an item to grab. Ether. Or as I pronounced it as a kid, ether. But I will try to pronounce it more properly. Got more enemies. I'm going to have Barrett attack one in the back. I think if your back row attacks their back row, you'll do half damage, but that looked like full damage. Alright, in this case, there was no need to use Bolt. We would have taken out their party very quickly. But that's okay. It is an efficient method here. And we don't really, we're not going to be like seeking out enemies or grinding at all during this run. Some RPGs are, FF7's not a particularly difficult RPG. Some RPGs are hard because they simply like require a lot of grinding or you to know very specific ways to abuse the game. And some RPGs are hard because they make decisions difficult. In that, like, you have to be very aware of the current situation and figure out how to handle it. I think you can see one of Biggs or Wedge in the bottom left corner here. I think FF7 never requires grinding, and there are some tools you can use to quite interesting effect. So where there is difficulty, I would consider it more of the latter category, which is the better category. You want a game to make you think, not to make you, at least for my purposes, not to make you spend a lot of time on stuff. I'm sorry, says Jesse. The ID scan problem on the train was all my fault. I made your ID card special, so that's why it happened. I put my heart into making it, but I failed. Aw, poor Jesse. You tried. Anyways, I got stuck here for a bit as a kid because I didn't realize you could go down these stairs that looked to me like a wall, not stairs, and I didn't know where to go. So, yeah, real super genius back then. And we will go grab the item. I don't think we'll need the save point right now. Biggs, what do you got? So it was Wedge we saw in the bottom left corner. They're going to pull out while we blow up the reactor. That, of course, makes sense. Only the people who know the timing. Okay, so we got back attacked, which means our formation is all wrong. But you'll notice enemies at this point do so little damage. We're gonna bolt them. Enemies do have elemental weaknesses. So I would expect, fish enemies like this to be weak to electricity, because generally in games water is weak to electric. And you'll see the back enemies all took around 90 damage, so they clearly had a weakness there. For the rest of this fight, I think we should just be able to attack. Tifa attacked from the back row to a back row, did less damage. Even though she got a critical. The flash was a way of indicating critical. Alright, so we could save limit breaks when we get them. The limit gauge fills up. When you've taken enough damage, your limit break fills up and you get to use a special move. But it is worth using them pretty regularly, because to get more powerful ones, you have to use the ones you have. There are 2 ways to learn limit breaks. It depends on whether you're learning the next level of limit break. Each character is 4 levels. The 4th level is kind of special. Or if you're learning the second limit break at the level you're currently at. Nice slide here. And you can see this looks very familiar to the first reactor we were at. But killing enemies and using limit breaks are the way to learn new limit breaks. So we're, going to fight enemies, and that will just happen throughout the game. But it means, like, if there's a group of 6 enemies, weak enemies, or 1 strong enemy, you'd slightly prefer to face the 6 weak enemies. You won't really have choices here, but killing weak enemies or getting your characters more kills. Cloud specifically having Bolt and All right now means Cloud is going to be killing groups of enemies more frequently. He's probably going to be learning his next moves more frequently. There's going to be other ways to affect limit breaks we'll get to. So we're going to use Bolt again because it's just a really powerful effect, right? Bolt is already a bit more powerful than attacking normally, I believe. And with All attached, hitting 3 enemies, we're doing a lot of extra damage. Now, we don't really need it because the enemies threaten so little damage. We could just kind of use attack and get through and take a little more damage. But I'm also trying to play through this not too slowly. And it's not like we'll really need the MP this early in the game, I don't think. I will be surprised if I run out, even with my ample use of these spells. I guess we will save here. What I wanted to say, I've been thinking just about like story construction and kind of, I've been watching some dumb show from the early 2010s that I will not to admit to what it is. It well-reviewed show. I might have talked about this last time, but well-reviewed show that I do not think is all that good, but it's kind of fun. And there's so many lines that like rely on having set up a more interesting world than they've set up. And the world has set up a bunch of things, but they don't actually use them for any of the clever lines. And so you end up with these... we have a memory. This is important. So Cloud has collapsed, sort of, and has a memory of Tifa saying Papa. We can see, presumably, her Papa collapsed in a place that looks very much like this, though clearly different color scheme. Definitely a different reactor, but clearly a reactor. Sephiroth? Don't think we've heard that name before. Sephiroth did this to you, didn't he? This Sephiroth seems bad. Sephiroth. Soldier. We know soldier, because Cloud was a soldier. Mako reactors, we know what that is. We know what Shinra is. Everything. That's pretty much all we know is those things. I hate them all. Legit, if they killed your dad, yeah. Grabs the sword off the ground. That was a sword. You might disagree with the graphics there. So we have a memory of something very similar where Tifa was younger in a place similar to this. Damn, man. Get a hold of yourself. You alright? Tifa. No, forget it. Come on, let's hurry. I'm just going to add words sometimes. He says no, forget, but, you know. Given that the translation is not perfect on words anyway, I'll take some liberties with them, because clearly this wasn't quite what was being said anyway. 5 enemies. I was going to say, let's just do it all attacking for once, but they do 10 damage. That's more than we've normally seen. And we have the mighty power of Bolt. Cloud almost has a limit break. That should get him there. In general, there's some move priority. Moves input first will go first, but limit breaks always take top priority. And you'll see Cloud's bar fills up faster. I'm actually going to save Cloud's limit break for now. And let other characters finish these off. I would rather have it take out a full health enemy than, these. Those we can see. I mean, at this point, Bolt All is going to hit a group like that for much more damage than even a limit break will, right? Because limit break can only take out one at a time. Because we do not have multi-hitting limit breaks. Now, here we don't get a boss right after placing the bomb. So, if I was attempting to save that limit break for a boss, I would have been ineffective there. Yeah, so I think it's really interesting. Like, you want to have thoughtful lines, but you want those lines to be justified by the world they're in. And that's what I really like about the train line, is that they've built a world where it makes sense. And I tend not to love what I consider, but everyone's going to have a different point where they consider this, excessive world building and stories. Things like... We're just going to run away. Things like Lord of the Rings have never appealed to me. I think there's a lot of time spent on stuff I'm not invested in. And I'm also just not invested in the characters in that story. It's very much not a story for me. And a lot of the stories trying to be it are also not stories for me. So I'm really anti-Lord of the Rings person. Not because it's innately all that terrible, but it and a lot of the stuff that followed from it is just stories I don't care about. Anyway, So, but you want, I think, is your world to be deep enough that the interesting things you want to say about your characters and have your characters think are justified. You can see we're leaving similar to how we left last time. Are justified and interesting thoughts about the world you've put them in. And you want to build a full enough world that can be the case. And I think more time spent on the world than that tends to be can get into vibes of purple prose and of not doing something useful with what you've built. And so I think lines like the train stuff here really shows a difference between FF7 and some inferior games, because FF7 has created a world where it can say compelling things about it, and it can have lines that, as I said but not too well, could in some perspectives feel cliched, but in this world just describes the world so well and really captures its function, really captures how stuck in the slums people are in this universe. And, in our universe to a great extent too. Jesse said we have to push the button at once. I'm going to fail this so badly. 1, 2, 3. I think I was late. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I was late. 1, 2, 3. Maybe? Yeah. They don't actually give a timer or anything. You just try to realize from the timing others are used, but I have found for me that counting to 3 has been a useful way to get that timing. When I was a kid on a soccer team, to learn how long keepers can hold on to the ball, because a keeper has 6 seconds after gathering the ball before they have to have the ball leave their hands in some form or other. If you actually watch professional soccer, this is not kept to at all. But it's part of the reason why when keepers, pick up the ball easily, they'll often fall to the ground, because all the time they spent on the ground counts as time gathering the ball. And so that gives them extra time before they have to release the ball. But it's not a rule very well kept to. That said, in our league, it was slightly more followed. And so our coach made us practice counting to 6. And I was pretty good at counting seconds to 6. But here, it's not really 3 seconds. It's just, I find counting to 3 and figuring out the timing of that the best way to do timing puzzles like this. There's a similar one in Resident Evil 4, but you can see the timer filling. Great game. I got in fights on the Triad forums back in the day over whether Resident Evil 4 was the best Resident Evil, but it obviously is, so what are we doing here? This way, says Barrett. Shinra soldiers? Oh no. Probably bad to be trapped somewhere that's about to blow up. Though we're sort of on the outskirts. If we remember where the explosion was last time, we were basically on this screen when it started exploding. Shit, what the hell's going on? A trap. Oh ho. President Shinra? Now, if I was the president and I had a trap, I probably wouldn't show up personally at it, but, it'd be a different kind of president than this one. Why is the president here? So you all must be that. What was it? Avalanche, and don't you forget it. And you're President Shinra, huh? Long time no see, President. Long time no see. Oh, you're the one who quit Soldier and joined Avalanche. I knew you'd been exposed to Mako from the look in your eyes. Tell me, traitor, what was your name? Cloud. Forgive me for asking, but I can't be expected to remember each person's name. Unless you become another Sephiroth. Yes, Sephiroth. He was brilliant. Perhaps too brilliant. This is not the most cleverly included exposition, I will admit. Sephiroth? Don't give a damn about none of that. Yeah, Barrett, he cuts right to the core of this. This place is going up with a big bang soon. Serves you all right. And such a waste of good fireworks, just to get rid of vermin like you. I think we have a villain on our hands. Vermin? That's all you can say. Vermin. Y'all Shinra are the vermin, killing the planet. That makes you king vermin, so show up, jackass. You are beginning to bore me. I'm a very busy man, so if you'll excuse me, I have a dinner I must attend. Dinner? Don't give me that. I ain't even started with you yet. But I've made arrangements for a playmate for you all. This very much sounds like we're about to fight a boss. What's that noise? The hell is this? It's Robo something. Meet Airbuster, a techno soldier. Our weapon development department created him. I'm sure the data he'll extract from your dead bodies will be of great use to us in future experiments. Techno soldier? Now then, if you'll excuse me. I'm very amused always whenever I play this by the incredibly blocky look of everything. Right? Like, how do you build a helicopter with blocks rather than kind of clean surfaces? Well, it was a funny way to do it. Also, the character's arms and hands always look just so funny to me. If I'd never, played this game, 20 years ago, I probably would be somewhat annoyed by it, but instead it's just humorous. Wait, President. Yo, Cloud, we've got to do something about him. Help, Cloud. This is from Soldier? No way, it's just a machine. Don't care what it is, I'm gonna bust him up. So I think we learned one interesting thing here. First, we've heard a little more that Sephiroth is something to do with Soldier and was brilliant. But secondly, that Cloud is recognizable as Soldier due to the way his eyes are blue. Due to some type of Mako, which is what the reactors are sucking out of the planet, infused in him. So keep an eye on that. We get to go first because the enemy has turned his back to us. And you'll see Barret does a lot of damage because Barret's hitting him from behind. And he will now turn sides. And he does get a counterattack, but we can make him look from side to side, the enemy, and get massive bonus damage to physical attacks by hitting his back. He does get a counterattack, but it also guarantees he is turned around, which is quite valuable to us. Now, Cloud's a little low on life. We should probably be looking to heal. Right, what's coming our way? Big Bomber. Can it do 222 damage? If it does, this will be deeply embarrassing for me. 97. I think we can survive that. So I want to start healing people. And I'm going to just little safety here. Alright, that's going to hit Tifa. So Tifa can throw a potion on herself. So it won't do that much damage, but... And then we can... I would like Cloud to hit for the bonus damage he's going to get from behind. So I'm going to delay Barret launching his limit break to try to get the double damage. Okay, he is turned on his own. So we're going to use Big Shot now. Cloud has lots of life, so he'll be fine. I guess after that, Cloud can attack, because that will hit for double damage. And then at that point, Cloud will probably be a little low, so we'll heal Cloud. Because Cloud's going to get hit by a counterattack. Nope, we're good. We beat the boss. So by hitting, double damage limit breaks, we did a lot of damage quickly. And you can also see how enemies that do a lot of damage to us are not necessarily scary if they're not actually threatening to kill us. Titan Bangle, gotta remember to equip that later. Because they fill up our limit breaks so quickly, and especially here where we could get our limit breaks doing double damage because we could get them on back attacks, that's a very powerful effect for us. It's gonna blow. Let go, Tifa. What's Tifa holding on to? Barret, can't you do something? Not a damn thing. Yeah, can't really reach that far. Cloud, please don't die. You can't die. There's still so much I want to tell you. I know, Tifa. She did almost say something earlier. Now, I think Cloud at this point always gonna do the I'm tough option, right? This is who Cloud is. This is who Cloud has been so far. You worry about yourselves. I'm alright, but take care of Tifa. No, would he say that? I don't know. I mean, he has his moments. Alright, sorry about all this. Stop talking like this is the end. Alright then, later. Oh no. Well, there goes Cloud. So now Cloud is dead, and the rest of the game will be about mourning his demise after he helped take out, admittedly, a second reactor. That is a long fall. He is very dead. I mean, what could possibly break a fall like that? I can't think of anything. You alright? Can you hear me? Yeah. Back then, you could get by with just skinned knees. From a fall that far? I doubt it. What do you mean by back then? What about now? Can you get up? What do you mean by that time? What about now? Don't worry about me. You just worry about yourself now. I'll give it a try. Oh, it moved. How about that? Take it slow now, little by little. Hello, hello? And now. Hey, who are you? Hello, hello. Well, we have clearly done some damage to the ceiling we came through, given those boards scattered everywhere. And we are somehow alive, because, you know. You okay? This is a church in the Sector 5 slums. It suddenly fell on top of me. Really gave me a scare. It came crashing down? The roof and the flower bed must have broken your fall. You're lucky. Flower bed? Is this yours? Sorry about that. That's alright. The flowers here are quite resilient, because this is a sacred place. I'm not sure that's how flowers work. But that doesn't mean they don't in this universe, of course. They say you can't grow grass and flowers in Midgar, but for some reason, the flowers have no trouble blooming here. Curious. I love it here. Cloud, shoulder shrug, don't care. Alright, we're given freedom of movement. While I remember, I'm going to equip our new Titan Bangle, which not only has clearly better stats, as you can see here, but also has 2 slots to put materia on, so that's very nice. I don't think we have an accessory to put on yet. One thing to note is, I believe... So if we look at our stats, just to say what they are, attack is, just an attack stat. The higher, the more damage you'll do. Attack percentage is an accuracy stat. The higher it is, the closer to 100, the closer you will be to hitting all your attacks. Defense is a stat that lowers damage received from physical attacks. Defense percentage is a chance to dodge physical attacks. Magic attack, which can be boosted by your armor, and attack can be boosted by your armor. There might not be examples of that, but because our other equipment can affect it, it shows up here. Magic attack is our magic power, and magic defense lowers magic damage taken. And magic defense percentage, if I remember right, in this game is glitched and just doesn't work. But I could be confusing it with some other game. There's some FF where that's glitched and just has no impact. I feel like it's this one. I'm forgetting. Do we have anything to equip? We got the Ice and Restore materia back. We'll leave them off Cloud for now. So, we meet again. Cloud thinks really hard. Really thinking. Face up to, the chin, thinking hard. Don't you remember me? I remember her. Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, I remember. We'll be straightforward here. You're selling flowers. Oh, I'm so happy. You didn't buy any flowers from me, though. No, we told you to get away from the explosion as the guards came. That was much nicer of us. Come on. Well, that's okay. Say, do you have any materia? We have 4 whole materia. Yes, some. Nowadays, you can find materia anywhere. Good thing, too, because you want to play a game where you can look around and find useful stuff. But mine is special. It's good for absolutely nothing. I'm sure we'll find some materia on our way I think is good for nothing, but good for nothing. You probably just don't know how to use it. No, I do. It just doesn't do anything. I feel safe just having it. It was my mother's. Say, I feel like talking. Do you feel up to it? After all, here we are meeting again, right? So far, every conversation Cloud has had, He has occasionally gone take care of people, but he has also shut down conversations quite quickly and not given the, like, yes and or supporting its continuation. Now, maybe he meets this woman and is really into her, but I think he's got nothing to talk about. Oh, I see. I wonder whose fault that is. Takes a lot to grow them, you know. Poor flowers. Alright. Just a little longer. Oh. Now that you mention it. We don't know each other's names, do we? My name is. And I am very used to Eris. I will not be changing her name to Aerith, which is clearly the correct translation in every language, and they typoed it in the US. But I am American, and I have always played the US version, and I don't think I have the brain space to change now. So we're gonna stick with this. I'm Eris, the flower girl. Nice to meet you. The name's Cloud, and someone walks through the door. Me? I do a little bit of everything. Oh, a jack of all trades. Yeah, I do whatever's needed. What's so funny? What are you laughing at? Sorry, I kind of wish I had positioned Cloud a little differently for that conversation, because you couldn't see her, like, bobbing up and down. That was blocked. Sorry, bad timing on my part. Alright, who's this? Cloud, don't let it get to you. Big shrug, Cloud's classic gesture. See what this person is. Don't worry about me, they say ominously. Say, Cloud, have you ever been a bodyguard? You do everything, right? Yeah, that's right. Then get me out of here. Take me home. Okay, I'll do it, but it'll cost you. Cloud, still in character. Well then, let's see. How about if I go out with you once? Is that a finger wave? Was that a agreement? Hard to tell. Seems like he agreed. I don't know who you are, but... You don't know me? I know you. Some lines are very clearly something weird going on in Cloud's head that are not reacting to the, stimulus around him. Oh yeah, I know you. That uniform. The blue suit. Hey sis, this one's a little weird. Cloud is a little weird. It is true. Shut up, you Shinra spy. Reno, want him taken out. We have a new named character. I haven't decided yet. Don't fight here. You'll ruin the flowers. Run away. To a better place to fight. The exit is back there. Alright, let's go. So this Reno fellow. Reno, they were Mako eyes. He knows what that means. We know what that means. Yeah, alright. Back to work, back to work. Oh. And don't step on the flowers. Hey Reno, you just stepped on them. They're all ruined. You're gonna catch holy hell. Notably, to go talk to her, we ran all over the flowers too. It's not a game where we've been kind to these flowers. So can we successfully run away? We're trying. There they are, over there. Cloud, that one. I know, looks like they aren't going to let us go. What should we do? Well, we can't let them catch us, can we? And there's only one thing left. Big jump. Eris, this way. Alright, I'll hold them off. Right, make sure they don't get through. The Ancient is getting away. Attack, attack, attack. Ah, Eris is the Ancient. What could this mean? Yag! Eris. Think we killed him? They shouldn't have put up a fight, I say. Now, I think for plot reasons, they probably shouldn't have been shooting in a way that could kill her, but shh. Nope, she looks fine. Cloud, help. So here we can't really get to her, but we can knock over those barrels above her. Damn. What's that? I'm gonna tell her to run. Alright. And that gives us a little time to get to barrels. But which ones would go to the right place? I'm gonna try this one. I don't actually remember which barrel to push. Yag. Cloud, help. Where's she gonna run to? I don't really remember what's optimal here. She got stuck. Did not give her good advice. Yeah, there wasn't a place to run to, so that was the wrong choice. So I think I should have said hold on for a minute and tried to get a barrel that would fall correctly. So Eris initially, and I didn't adjust this because we didn't have control of her, is going to look like she does really low damage. And she is in general low power, but you'll also notice she receives low damage, which should indicate to us that she is naturally in the back row. Now, because she uses a melee weapon rather than a gun, she's going to do half damage while in the back row and receive half damage. And when we get control, we're going to move her up to the front row because, in general, I think it is, if we're not getting full damage from the back row because we have a gun like Barrett does, we'd rather be in the front row, do more damage, receive more damage. Let's, I feel like this is going to be the barrel we want. Not sure why. But that trade-off is going to favor us because, we're going to use limit break here, because it will have our limit breaks fill up faster. We would rather more damage in both directions because we get limit breaks and enemies don't. And so in general, if we're given an option between higher defense and lower attack or higher attack and lower defense, we're going to be upping our attack and lowering our defense every time. Almost every time, I should say. There will be an exception there. It's possible there's more than one exception. So I guess we're just going to wait for Eris's next. What should we do? Cloud, help. We're going to say hold on a minute. And I'm going to try to push this barrel. Yeah! Hey, found the right one. Good. Thanks, Cloud. And I think now she can get to us. I gave one bad piece of advice, but it was vaguely useful. That's all we aspire to be in life. Eris, this way. Cloud must like her, though, right? He's been so immediate to everything is about money, and she did not offer him money. Haha, they're looking for me again. I always think it's funny when we go from a smaller view to a bigger view, because, like, if you look at our sprite size to the entrance to the church size now, our sprites are so much larger. We must, like, the church was so big when we were in it, and now we can just be on top of it, taking up, like, you know, we're what, like, a quarter of the height of this whole church or something? I always think the perspective stuff is amusing. Haha, they're looking for me again. You mean it's not the first time they've been after you? No. They're the Turks. The Turks are an organization in Shinra. They scout for possible candidates for soldier. This violently? I thought they were kidnapping someone. He also said he called him a Shinra spy as well. So basically, somewhere in the spy to recruitment sphere is where we currently think the Turks are. They're also involved in a lot of dirty stuff on the side. Spying, murder, you know. So they're the dirty undercover jobs of Shinra. They look like it. No one trusts someone in a suit. But why are they after you? There must be a reason, right? No, not really. I think they believe I have what it takes to be a soldier. That doesn't seem like what's going on here, to be honest. Maybe you do. You want to join? I don't know, but I don't want to get caught by those people. Because they said the Ancient is getting away, right? That doesn't sound like just a recruitment mission. That sounded like this is an important person to capture. Then let's go. Now we get to run along rooftops. Wait, I said. Puff, wheeze. Slow down, don't leave me. Funny. Thought you were cut out to be in Soldier. Cloud, still, what a gentleman, always polite, never rude. Oh, you're terrible. Then they both have a laugh, though. Hey, Cloud, were you ever in Soldier? I used to be. How'd you guess? Your eyes, they have a strange glow. That's the sign of those who have been fused with Mako. A mark of Soldier. But how'd you know about that? Oh, nothing. Nothing? Great, nothing. Come on, let's go, bodyguard. Off we go. Some mysteries around. Still have to get back to the Sector 5 slums. Or the church was in the Sector 5 slums, but we don't know where her home is yet. Ooh, finally made it off. Now what? My house is over here. Hurry before he comes. So let's menu a little, because I want to put her in the front row. I think, again, it is useful to have more limit breaks more often. And I think we should give her some damage output. And we'll put Restore on Cloud, because it's useful to have Restore on someone, right? Cure is very powerful. And also, I probably should have had it equipped the whole way, because it is useful to have... Because if we look at our materia, we can see it has 1 of 4 stars, and it gains AP each fight, and when it levels up, we get access to new spells like Bolt 2 or Bolt 3, and sometimes there's other effects we gain access to. So it is worth having kind of as many materia as we can have equipped at any given time. Now we're going to come up here, not for very long. You can explore, talk to people, learn stuff about the world. I just wanted to go to the shop. I don't care if it's scrap metal or material. We can get anything here in the slums. Got a lot of good materia here. Why don't you look it over? And that's what I wanted to do. So we have ice and lightning. We don't have a fire materia. We do have a restore materia. Let's get a fire materia. Let's complete the collection. Can we give Eris better equipment? No, we cannot. But we can put our new materia on Cloud. Not super important. I think if you look at elemental weaknesses in this game, and I'll talk about this more later when we get a different tool to try to exploit them. Huh? The hell are you? The hell do you think you're talking to? Oh, that's not actually the way to go. We're supposed to... My bad. We were supposed to go here. But one thing is, you can check places, have counted like how many enemies are weak to different elements. And it's useful to have certain elements. And usually they're somewhat signposted. Usually, metal things are weak to electricity, which is why that has been so useful. Flesh things are more likely to be weak to fire. What's weak to ice? Not sure exactly, but ice tends to hit pretty well. Not a ton resists ice. And wind tends to do well against flying enemies. So we got cover materia, which is a kind of interesting one, because what cover does, and actually we'll get rid of fire now, is it gives you a 20% chance to block physical attacks on enemies when attacked, and it ups your vitality, right? So it makes you take less damage, and it makes you take more attacks. Now, why do we want to choose some characters to be attacked over others? One is, if a character is more life, you'd rather they take hits than others. Barret has the most life, so cover would be good, make a lot of sense to put on Barret. A second reason we might want someone to have it is if we can get an effect from getting hit. So for instance, later we'll get counterattack, and that is when you're hit, you have some chance to get a free counterattack. If so, we want that character to get hit more often. We'll want to combine that with cover. But a third thing is, if we want a character to get hit more because we want them to get more limit breaks, cover is a good way of getting them hit more, right? We're going to want the characters that have really powerful limit breaks and are our best attackers to get more of this effect. I'm home, Mom. After this scene, I think we're gonna call it. I should have saved. That was foolish. This is Cloud, my bodyguard. Actually, I think I'll just call it here. But yeah. So we're moving through the Midgar portion of FF7. I think we're setting up right now who the characters are and a little more about the world. I think this second chunk to me is a little less interesting than the opening chunk. Right? We had a dungeon that was very similar to a repetition of a prior dungeon. We had a little gameplay development with taking advantage of using the backside of a boss and paying attention to which way it turned and how we could control which way it turns so that we could do a lot of damage and kill it very quickly. And I think that's a neat mechanic. I think it's really nice when, not that the boss is difficult and you could beat it just mashing attack and occasionally healing, but I think it's nice to exploit the strategies you're given and try to play the game well. We got new materia and cover, which I think we'll talk about a bit more, because I think mechanics like that are interesting to figure out where it's optimized. Who in your party do you want to see taking hits? Story-wise, we officially met Eris, and we know that she is the Ancient, that she has a materia that does absolutely nothing, that she got from her mother. We know that the Turks are after her, and the Turks are very much the shady arm of Shinra. We also met the president of Shinra, who did not seem like a great guy. And we potentially blew up a second reactor, but we didn't really see it because we collapsed through the floor, right? I guess we did see it as we did that. So it looks like we did blow up a second reactor, and yeah, our environmental terrorism mission is going quite successfully, though we've been split up from our team. And Jesse screwed up her ID. That was a shame. If we're going to rank our 4 named characters, Cloud, Tifa, Barrett, and Eris, I think hasn't changed much from last time. I think Barrett has had the most interesting things to say about the world we're in, and is the most eager to fight for a better one. So I'm going to put Barrett number 1.